This is a DAF LF45 rocker cover. This is off because customers reported that you got a bit of a knock and noise coming from the engine. So for me, first place really to start, when I listened to it, it was a bit tappy until it's revved. Then it developed quite a heavy top end knock. So let's have the rocker cover off, have a quick visual check. Valve clearances all looked okay. You know, the adjusting screws all basically the same distance out the top of the nut. There's nothing, all the bridge valve caliper pieces were there. Nothing too obvious. Started it up without the rocker cover on. I just thought that would be good for the video. You guys can see it actually doing something and actually hear it. Obviously I didn't want to rev it up because I don't want to cover absolutely everything in oil. Now, as you can see here, cylinder 1 exhaust rocker. You can see, if you look closely down there at the bottom, you can see the spring looks like that's sort of bulged out. That is a snapped valve spring. So that, I suspect, is where the tapping noise is coming from. And on in there, you can see that's a good one. That one's fine. There's no sort of bulge or any abnormality regarding the valve spring. A bit further up, I think it's number 5. Again, exhaust on number 5 was smashed as well. So 2 springs to do. Normally, I would advise taking the head off, checking for damage, but the customer doesn't want to. You can see here, I can grab hold of the retaining washer on the top of the valve and turn it. And if you look very carefully at the top of the valve, you can see that the valve is actually turning as well. That should be slammed dead shut. There should be no movement in that whatsoever. Yeah, so anyway, back to the customer. You know, this DAF has done 1.2 million clicks now. It's been a good lorry. I've looked after it for six odd years now. But he's just spent quite a lot of money having bits and pieces done to it. This has now happened. So he didn't want to spend too much money and spend loads of time on it. If it's knackered, he'll just put a second-hand engine in it. So here you can see I've got my mold grips on the valve stem there. This is because I just want to make sure that that piston is at top dead centre. Because when you're doing this with the head on, the last thing you want to do is drop a valve into the ball. You know, then you've definitely got to have the head off. At least this way I've saved as much time and labour on the job as possible. So there you go, you can see top dead centre, that valve is not going anywhere. TDC is indicated on the dampener pulley, and the 2 bolts to the left is shot. Centre of that, and you should be somewhere near top dead centre. When I came to do number 5, same thing again. I had my mold grips on the top of the valve, and I turned it around to where I thought it should be, looking at the inlet and exhaust, and you know, just made sure that that was right before I let go. I was just being extra careful. There we go, some nice new shiny parts, valve spring. There's 2 of them there. We've got new collets, we've got new retaining washers. So not a lot of money from DAF, believe it or not. Probably for the whole lot, I don't know, somewhere it's about 60, 70 quid for the whole lot. So not a lot of money at all. That's the old one, you can see there, look, clearly snapped. Luckily, really didn't do much more damage than that. So we'll bang the new ones on. Proper valve compression tool, or spring compression tool. Well happy with that when I found that. So made my life a lot easier. So push down the spring, bang a new collet in. There you go, nice new shiny spring. And I actually quite like that colour pink. That's quite vivid. I quite like that colour. Yeah, anyway, done all them, done the 2 valves, put it all back together, and she was running sweet as a nut. Sounded perfect for a 1.2 million kilometre vehicle. There you go, see, that's the one I've done. No movement in that whatsoever.